Hello, 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 hello. This is episode number 76 with Truth Be Told podcast. I'm your host, Britt. Y'all, today we got a good one. We are live, Miss Cynthia. We are talking about hurry up and heal, tools to hurry up and heal. And I had to get Miss Cynthia on here. She's going to tell us about herself first before we go into this topic. How are you doing today, Cynthia?
I am so good. Thank you so much, Brittany, for inviting me on your podcast. I do truly appreciate it. A little bit about myself. So my name is Cynthia Adjaman, and I'm a licensed therapist in the state of Maryland in DC. My practice is called Conversations Create Change. We see primarily individuals, children, families, couples, and modalities include the Goffman method therapy. We do a little bit of CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, dialectical behavioral therapy, and we definitely focus on holistic healing, mind, body, and soul. Yeah, so that's who we are.
Oh, I love it. I actually love the email, the name Conversations Create Change. What made you come up with that title?
So, the thing with therapy is that it gets a bad rap, right? And so I wanted to move it away from just being a very clinical name to something that everybody can relate. And so the way I came up with it was that every single day, what I do is I do talk therapy, right? So I'm having conversations with people every single day. And through those conversations, obviously, I'm bringing in a lot of research and clinical based information modalities and different things like that. But at the end of the day, we're just having conversations, right? And conversations over time with a whole bunch of other things will create change. And so that's how it came up with it in terms of the name. And yeah, it just makes sense, right? At the end of the
No,
day,
it
conversations do create change.
It makes perfect sense. I love it. I When I read it, I was like, okay, Miss Cynthia, it's so true because I'll get on here and I'll talk and I don't realize how much it changes me after I get off the conversation with you guys. Like sometimes, life happens and we're day to day and I'm tired, you're tired, and it's like, gosh, I got to get on here. But I don't get on here to for clout. I do it because of my journey, because of me. I'm still in therapy. So I just think it's so important that people understand how important it is to hurry up and heal. Especially with it being the new year. A lot of people have different feelings. I think it's very important to pay attention to your body. The reason I'm saying that is because this last week has been a turmoil for me. Um, I realize I've been going too hard. And when I say too hard, I just mean everything, mind, body, soul. I'm just moving too much.
Yeah.
And so I had chest pains and shoulder pain this week, Miss Cynthia. And I just fell to the ground and I was like scared and I was like, what's going on? Never felt like this before. Went to the
Uh,
doctors. I'm still like they're monitoring my heart, but I realized that I had so much stress from I have arthritis in my neck.
mm,
And the doctor's like, you 36. You should not be having that type of arthritis in your third or fourth vertebrae.
yeah.
Yeah, it scared me. So I really just kind of like I talk about this, I preach about it because I'm walking this journey with you guys. So I really want to express to the audience and to everybody, don't listen to what everybody else is doing. Listen to what you're doing. What's connecting you, whether it's through your mind, through your body, through your spirit, because all of those connect together. And I'm gonna let the therapist who is specialized in this area talk a little bit more about that. What made you get into therapy?
Well, before we get to that, I want to give you kudos because the more people like yourself who is in therapy talk about therapy, the more it brings more people into therapy, right? So this platform that you have here, this podcast that you have here, I think again, it's creating ripple effects, right, in our community. So thank you so much for that. How did I get into therapy? I've always loved talking to people, right?
Mhm.
So my academic background is in social work, And so I went through the regular route of social work, did a little bit of child welfare, foster care, adoption. I got into a little bit of school social work. And then a few years, about like 10 years ago, I guess, right? we I came across a job for private practice therapy. So that's like somebody that works by themselves, and so
Mhm.
they were looking for a part-time therapist, and I was like, "Oh, I could do that, right?"
Right.
I think in our field, or in this field of social work, we're constantly hustling, right? We have side hustles and different things like that. So I was like, I can work at the school and do and do private therapy too. So that's how I got started doing individual therapy, right? Obviously, I was doing some clinical stuff in the school, but how I got into private practice was through that part-time job, and ever since then, it's been a great experience because it really allowed me to do more one-on-one work
Mhm.
versus in the school side, you were doing more kids, groups, and different things like that. And so a little bit of case management. So it really allowed me to use my clinical skills in a more one-to-one helping way. And so that's how I got into therapy. But obviously before that, I got into therapy myself and different things like that. So it was just a different way to wear my social work hat, I guess.
No, I
Yeah.
love it. I wanna say as far as a therapist, because we pour so much into you, who pours into you?
I love that. You know what? Who pours into me? I have to do a good job of balancing
Mhm.
because no one can pour into you more than you can pour into yourself,
Right.
right? So
Mhm.
that comes with me making the conscious decision to do the the self-care practice, right? And for me, that includes going to therapy. I have a therapist, right? I do the make sure that I go to sleep on time, making sure that I'm eating, making sure that I'm exercising, making sure that I'm doing some of the activities that I like to do, making sure that my spending time with my kids, my family, my friends, going on girls trips, right? So like all of those things that I know connects me and also connects me with my village. That also helps. This year, my word is connection,
Right.
and it's connection for a lot of reasons, but it's allowing me to connect with myself, but also to connect with other people, right? In
Mhm.
social media, to connect with my family, my friends. So I just want to be more intentional about doing the things that allow me to feel poured into,
Mhm.
right? But also to feel whole so that I can continue to pour out. Because
No, I
you're right,
love that.
we do pour out a lot, but it's a conscious and intentional effort to pour into myself consistently.
Yes, because you have to be okay, and that's what a lot of people don't understand sometimes, we're humans. So you have to be okay to pour into me and vice versa, because if you're not okay, you're bringing in whatever you have going on to me. And I'm like, okay, is she talking to me or is she talking about what she got going on?
Well, like, who's the therapist and who's the client, right? And sometimes that happens, right? You go to therapy and you're just like, wait, why was the therapist talking more than I was talking? That doesn't seem right.
Can you tell us, when we're talking about the tools to hurry up and heal? Can you give us your definition, or not necessarily a definition, but some tools that you can tell the audience that they can use while they're healing?
You know, the biggest thing I was thinking about was hurry up and heal. We all want that,
Yeah.
right? But I think the biggest thing that if I can say to anybody listening is patience,
Oh, you talking to
right?
me.
It's patience because you're right. We all want to hurry up and heal because the thing that is causing us the hurt, the pain, the struggle, the discomfort, we want it gone.
Mhm.
Who doesn't want that, right? But
Right,
sometimes it takes a long time. It's a process, it's a journey for us to get through that, right? And so the
right,
first thing I would say to anybody listening is have patience with yourself, patience
right.
with the process, patience with the journey.
Now, you
appealing.
know, we as a society are like microwavable society. We want everything to happen right now, instantly. The reason why I was so, the reason why I named this the tools to hurry up and heal is because I was thinking of past trauma that you're still fighting with that is deeper than what's going on
Mhm.
the outside.
Yeah.
Take for instance, I'm 36 years old. I feel like at this age, and I might be wrong, but I feel like at this age, I shouldn't be battling anything that I went through from high school.
Mhm.
I feel like if you're still posting about your baby daddy that
Mhm.
ain't doing nothing for them kids, or you still talking about that girl that you fought in 2020, it's something else, it's something deeper,
Mhm.
and that's what I mean when we're still talking about or we're still hurt from past trauma. It's like, okay, it's not, it can't be him, it can't be this girl. What is it inside of you that is not letting that go?
Mhm.
um I know for me, I always talk about my, my past, and I talk about where I'm at in my journey, and it feels good, Cynthia, to actually see the progress along the way. Like you said, it's a journey, and patience is so hard. But with patience, also, I do feel like you have to have some type of emotional intelligence. Can you explain a little bit more about what emotional intelligence is to the
Mhm.
audience?
So emotional intelligence is your ability to be aware of your emotions, but also other people's emotions and how those emotions impact your interactions with others, your interactions with your past history, your interactions with your triggers, right? So is
Right,
that self-awareness key, self-awareness of
right.
your emotions and how you deal with your emotions. So it's very involved, but essentially self-awareness of your emotions,
No, I wanted
right?
you to talk a little bit more about it, because people really don't understand that. Like,
Mhm,
let's give a, like, if you have an opinion about something,
mhm,
that I'm entitled to feel the way I feel. That's like if I put a post up and somebody calls and say like they feel like I'm talking about them, and it's like, well, you shouldn't feel that way because this post is for me and my feelings. And that's why when you said being self-aware of what's going on around you, because everybody is not going to be emotional intelligent.
mhm. Yeah,
Everybody is not going to say it all cookie cutter like you want them to say. They're going to come at you and they're going to trigger you. It's going to happen. Like, I don't
mhm,
care what nobody say, this is the
yeah,
world we live in. It don't matter how much therapy, it don't matter how much personal development you go through. The key word that you said was being self-aware. Can you
mhm.
talk a little bit more about that?
So self-awareness is the ability almost, right, to understand how your how you relate to your emotions. Because everybody has emotions. I think we're very much conditioned to to believe that we don't our emotions don't matter, right?
Mhm.
If you're not blessed enough, right, to grow up in a household where someone acknowledges that yes, when you're hurt, and validating your feelings, you grow up neglecting your emotions, not even
Mhm.
recognizing your emotions. And so then you grow up not thinking that emotions are important,
That's
right?
true.
But
Mhm.
just because you don't recognize it doesn't mean that you're not experiencing emotions all the time.
And that's like, it's like a bombshell, because some people, because of their culture, where they come from, how they were raised. I know for me, it was like, and I still feel this way.
Yeah,
Like with my mom, if I go to my mom about how I'm feeling, like what just happened last week, I sometimes I act like a baby, but I feel like I don't get the response that I
yeah,
want from her.
yeah.
Like, I'm like, well, why is she not coddling me? Why she's
Mhm,
not, are you okay? You okay? Like if it was one of my other siblings, she was just, oh, you okay? You okay? You okay? But with me, it's always like, oh, Brittany will be fine. Just, you already know what to do, and just keep it moving.
right. And
So
you
some,
get into that the black woman syndrome, right, where we have to be
yes,
strong and we have to be
yes,
brave and we have to everything is fine.
right.
on that face and keep it moving,
Right. And so
right?
I've done that a lot. I've done that a lot. What can you say to people that are struggling in those areas that are trying to learn themselves and be a self-aware,
Mhm,
but also from what type of family they come from, how to deal with both, how to balance it because it's hard.
mhm, mhm. The one other thing too in regards to emotional intelligence is empathy, right? Empathy for other people, but also empathy for yourself. And
Hmm.
this is where reparenting and healing the inner child comes in, right?
Hmm.
Because like you said, if you can go to your parent and they're still up to this day
Hmm.
dismissing your feelings or not acknowledging your feelings, you have to learn to do that for yourself.
Right.
Right? So
Right.
learning to be empathetic, learning to be supportive of your own emotions, of your own trauma, of your own healing, that in itself goes a long way.
I
Because
learned.
maybe no one's going to be able to do that for you, but you have to learn through therapy, through your own healing and different things like that to do that for yourself.
You said it. Oh my gosh, that's why I said, shut up, Brittany.
Right
I
here.
can't I can't blame mom. I can't blame. I have to take accountability for whatever emotions or feelings that I'm feeling from that.
Yeah.
And I have to and love to learn to love me more. And
Yeah.
I'm still learning. I at 36, I am still learning to love me more than anybody else. Um
You know
'Cause
what the other thing too, and this is hard to hear sometimes when I do sessions with my clients, is that the empathy sometimes has to extend to our parents too or our
Mhm,
caregivers,
mhm.
right? Because and again, this is what I'm saying, this can be hard because it's the person that hurt you and you're saying you have empathy for them, but it's more around the fact that they didn't know or they didn't have the resources to give
Right.
to us, right?
And I
You cannot give what you do not have.
exactly. And I learned that too. I'm still learning that along the way. I don't blame my mom for a lot of stuff now that I'm learning. She gave me the best that she can give me, and she's a great mom. She's a great mom. It's just certain things, like all of us, you want from that, or you're looking for that, and it's like, no, Brittany, she gave you the best that she could give you.
Ooh,
Same way with my daughter. I know that she has things that she could say about me.
yeah.
But I give her my best, and when I can't give her my best, that's when my village comes into play.
Mm,
And I always tell her that. I say, if I'm not giving you what you need, or there's something that you need from Auntie Desiree or your Uncle Patrick or Pooh, you go and you talk to them, you give, or your cousins.
mhm,
She has her own little village, and I know that that helps her to heal from the little bit of things, not little bit of things. My daughter is extraordinary. She went through cancer when she was 9. She's out of it. She's in remediation.
okay,
Even that in itself,
mm,
that's another not struggle, but that's another journey, another thing that we have to delegate on a day-to-day basis.
yeah,
um when it comes to triggers, it was something that you said. It was funny. It made me think of, we're going to always have triggers. Somebody's going to always trigger you. I think that we have to learn how to, like you said again, be self-aware. When you are being triggered, what are some things that you tell people that they can do when they're in that type of environment?
mm. We're gonna go back to emotional regulation, right? Well, we're gonna go back to emotional intelligence, and in that is emotional regulation,
Okay.
right? So the emotional regulation is your ability to calm yourself down, to regulate yourself, to self-soothe when you're dysregulated. So dysregulated is basically when you're being triggered,
Oh my gosh.
right?
Let me tell you,
How can you self-soothe when you're being triggered?
that is a good thing, because I'm learning that I know my triggers. Like, I know them now. I know that certain people are going to trigger me.
Like
I'm not the
people, places, and things,
people,
right?
places, and things. Yes, people, places, and things are going to trigger me. I mean, a voice, a smell, Some, and it could be small, and it can just
Mhm.
resort back to something that I thought I healed from, but it
Yeah,
brought it right back up.
yeah,
It
yeah,
brought it right back up. And that's where I'm at now with certain things. I'm like, okay, why is that emotion coming back up for me?
yeah, yeah.
Why am I not over that? It's something bigger than that. I even tell my husband that. Like, we just had a little argument. It wasn't a little argument, it was a big argument. Because
Mhm,
we don't argue. When we do argue, we go there. And I hate that because it's not no in between.
mhm. All or nothing.
Yes, it's all or nothing because we don't. Like, most of the time we're under each other. My kids even know. They know that if mommy and daddy is not like this, something
Mhm,
wrong.
mhm.
But what are some things, like you said, patience, as far as the tools to hurry up and help you heal? Is there anything else that you can tell the audience that can hurry up? And I don't mean, guys, it's really just a title. When I say hurry up and heal, I mean really just deal with, like she said, yourself and what you're going through. But
Mhm,
besides
mhm.
patience, what is something else that you could tell us that we could have as a tool?
I think like you said, your village, right?
Mhm.
Having that support system helps. And in your village can be your therapist, right?
Mhm.
It can be your best childhood friend. It can be your pastor, your minister. It can be your Reiki specialist, right? It can be your anybody that helps you to feel safe emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually, all of that, right? Identify the people in your life that make you feel that way. It's also good to identify them out, right? There are people in your life or around you that are may go against what you're trying to do.
Right.
I may not want to see you healed, right? Because you unhealed benefits them. We
Ooh.
don't talk a lot. Right? But you may need to look through your village and figure out who are the people that want me to continue in my healing journey and who's wanting me to be held back. And that also helps you to identify, okay, this can help me in my healing journey. And sometimes letting people go helps you in that.
That's scary. Like, it is to a point to where sometimes, like you said, your village, you think this is really your village, and then when you're healing, and then you
Yeah.
start going through the layers, and then you're realizing, wow, this person in my village is not helping me heal. That's really scary. When you get to that point, what are some things that you tell that person how to knock that person out their village, especially if they're close to them?
Yeah.
I know.
This is where, our as a therapist, my favorite thing to talk about is boundaries,
Uh-huh.
right?
I knew you were
And
going there.
boundaries is scary. I was gonna go there. Boundaries is scary, but at the
Mhm.
same time, it helps you to protect yourself. It helps you to
Exactly.
protect yourself, and it also helps you to let other people know that I'm protecting myself.
Right. And you're so true. Like, I have boundaries within my family. It's certain people that I can't just like get rid of and never be a part. And that's including both our families. But I'm
Mhm.
not gonna go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
So sometimes whenever I'm around certain people within either one of our families, I know that I can be triggered.
Yeah.
So some of the things that you have said definitely helps as
Mhm.
far as me being patient, but then also being patient with the other person as well.
Yeah.
Simply because we're two different people. Like, me and my husband, we come from two different worlds. We were
Mm,
raised different. So
differently.
what I was taught and what he was taught is two different things. That doesn't mean that he's smarter, I'm dumber, or vice versa. It's just two different worlds.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I think that whenever we use some of those tools to hurry up and heal, I think that it makes you more self aware of where you are in your healing journey.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, what are some things that if you could go back and say to young Cynthia, 14-year-old Cynthia, what would you tell her today?
Ooh, that's a good one. I would tell her to value herself.
Mhm.
I would. Because I think, when she gets to like 17, 18, 19, her self-value kind of it goes sideways a little bit,
Yeah.
right? So I would tell her, "Hold on," because I feel like when early high school, oh, she was confident, she had it together, and then as, like, the years kinda goes by, she loses herself a little bit. So, yeah, I would tell her to value her self-worth and hold on to it regardless of who comes around.
Oh, I
Right?
love
It's
it.
always what comes around, right? So, yeah, I think that's what I would tell her, that, she's worthy, and regardless who comes around, she's always gonna be worthy.
Oh, I love that. That's what I tell my daughter. She's 16, Cynthia, and
Mm,
she's
mhm.
so she's there. Like you said, she's going, but she's so and she's always like, "Mom, stop saying I'm better than you." I'm like, "Cause you are." Like you I
You've been
was
pouring into her though, Brittany, sounds like.
14, my legs was wide open, Cynthia. I'm just being wide open. Like I was gone over her daddy. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like, and I was just like, oh my, and I'm so proud of her. And I
yeah,
don't like I know she's gonna eventually have sex, but I tell her, I just show her. I
yeah.
just let
Mhm,
her see. I say, you see what your mommies went through and or people around you like love you and she a little cocky, which sometimes can be a balance, but I always tell her love you enough regardless of who's there and who's not there.
exactly.
Mama didn't learn that until now, and
Mhm,
I'm
mhm,
36.
mhm. I mean, if our young people continue to learn that and continue to pass it on to their kids earlier, right? Imagine
Yes,
where we
break
would
the
be as a
cycle.
community. It
We
goes a
can
long way knowing
we
your self-worth
we
early.
can break the cycle. It's not our family's fault from what they learned. They were just doing the best they could, y'all. Forgive your mama. Forgive your daddy. Forgive whoever hurt you because that's not helping you. Like, and so I just wanted to say that because I was so excited to talk to you today because I knew you were going to drop some jewels and let
Mhm,
the audience know some tools to hurry up and heal. Another thing I want to ask you, Cynthia, before I let you go, I do want to know what is one thing that you could tell the audience that you left in 2023 and that you're bringing into 2024.
mm. Oh my god. I'm gonna get a little deep here, but
I want you to.
yeah, I grief and loss, right? We had a significant death in the family and it shook us and it's still shaking us.
My
And
condolences.
I want to thank you so much. I want to leave that feeling behind. And,
You gonna make me
and at the
cry?
same
Okay, go ahead.
time, I want to bring in into 2024 how deep and how in depth our love was for this person. Right.
Ooh,
And I want to just carry that. You're right. You're making me cry too. And
ooh,
I want to just bring that into 2024 and beyond because it was a reminder that when you love someone, you have to constantly let them know that you love them.
yes,
You have to constantly
yes,
show them that you love them, right?
yes.
And although we'll miss this person forever, I think he knew how much we loved him and how much
Mhm.
we adored him. Um, and for that, I'm grateful that he knew that. And then so I think if you take anything from this podcast today, show the people there's a lot of stuff, right, that we go through on a day-to-day
Mhm,
basis and
mhm.
throughout our whole lifetime. Um, but the people that are in your village, show them, right, that you love them, be there for them, connect with them, talk to them,
Be present.
be present with them. Yeah. Because all of that stuff, right? Eventually, you'll figure it out. Eventually, you'll heal through it.
Mhm.
Um, just continue to make sure that you connect with the people that are here.
I love it. That was for me too. So thank you for saying that because I needed to hear that.
I'm
Where can we find you at on social media?
So I'm on two different places. I'm on, I think you and I connected through Talk All About It,
Mhm.
which is where I kind of like to say that I get to wear all my different hats, right? So it allows me to be a little bit silly and fun,
Mhm.
but still talk therapy and mental health and different things like that, but in a funny kind of jovial way. So you can find me there um at talk underscore all about it. And that's on Instagram. And then my business page, you can find me at Conversations CC LLC. But you can also find me on www.conversationscreatechange.com. And also, you can find me at Create Change with Cynthia.com, and that's where I do mostly couples work and workshops and different things like that. So I'm in lots of different places,
I
but
see.
everywhere
Hey.
you'll still get the same person. So that's the beauty of being all over online.
I love it. I definitely will make sure I put your links so people can find you because, like Miss Cynthia said, it is very important to have a therapist, regardless of where you're at in life. Just stay in tune to yourself, guys. Like that is too important. Like you can't be okay and help everybody else.
You cannot pour from an empty well, right? They say.
Yes. Okay. And so at the end, I like to have a little fun, come down. Random questions. It is, what is this? January. How are you feeling for the new year? What are some things that you can tell us how you're feeling right now?
There's a lot going on in my life, but I'm also feeling grounded, connected, and loved.
Oh, okay. I'll leave it at that. I won't go nowhere else. Well, guys, this was a great episode. I hope you love talking with Cynthia with tools to hurry up and heal. Episode number 76. We are signing out. Please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. Let me know what I can do to help you help me. But you guys have a good evening. Thank you, Miss
Thank
Cynthia.
you, Brittany.